Yes, it's Donnie in the driveway. And I got this old Hardinge HC Chucker here. It was out of company, and the same story, you know, they drug it out and put a CNC machine in its place when the last guy that knew how to use it retired. So I picked this up on the internet years ago about using automatic transmission fluid and mixing it with acetone. And people argue it doesn't really mix, and they're right, but let's try it, okay? Try to remove this rust. So I'm going to pour some acetone in this container here. That's about enough for now. Get that over here. You always want to put the lid on acetone. You don't want to spill a gallon of that nasty stuff. Okay, we got right here multi-purpose automatic transmission fluid. It was the cheapest stuff I could find. So, I'm going to get this up here. Put it up here, maybe you can see better. Do a little bit of acetone. Hope that thing's not leaking. It almost looks like it is. Okay, I'm going to slap some automatic transmission fluid in there. I think that container might not like this stuff, but I think I used it before. Yeah, it's leaking all over the place. But let's get this stuff everywhere. Okay, we'll get it over here. We're gonna get it here. Look at that; it's almost taken that rust off. Now this is steel. This bed. The bedway's steel, the saddle's cast iron. Let's slap some up here too, yeah. Now let's just automatic transmission fluid and acetone. It's not going to hurt anything on any of the metal. We'll just get some initial on there before it all leaks out of this dollar store container. I go to the dollar store and buy these things and use them until they leak, I guess. There we go. All right. Now what I like to do first, get this stuff around. It actually kind of boils a little bit. And okay, now this, I make these scrapers for deburring and removing rust, and they're not waste scrapers. And all it is I take a piece of mild steel and turn a little bit and file a slot and brace a carbide blank in there. Then of course I grind it on my tool and cutter grinder, but I can touch it up with an easy lap. And you want to take, like with a little lap, you want to kind of break those corners so it doesn't dig in. And it doesn't need to be as sharp as a real wave scraper. And this is better to use for this than a wave scraper because a wave scraper has a radius. And this is just straight across, okay? Let's see what we can do here. I'm just skimming. I feel some resistance. This initially will get the that rust off. The layer of it. You can see the stain down there. And this really isn't scratching this. This is hard steel too. This it's hardened steel bed, dovetail bed, a Hardinge exclusive, I think. Yeah, see that? Yeah, I'm just going to keep going by. And this is only 1/2 inch wide, and it's nice to have them a little bit narrow because it does take some force, and the wider the tool, the harder it is to push through. So, you know, kind of take your time like this. I got to be careful this video doesn't overrun. And, I'll do things about as fast as I can. And, you know, I'll do this maybe 3 times, go through this whole thing. And it really looks good. But I'll go through it this one time here so you can see what I'm doing. And like I say, I got this off the internet. I didn't invent it. And what this does, it's money saving. Like PB Blaster works really good, pretty good. This might even work a little better, but it's cheaper. You know, if you got a big machine like that radial drill I did, or the milling machine that's in there. So I'm just gonna skim it. Now, you don't want to use any kind of power tool at all doing this. It'll ruin it. And it doesn't matter if there's a stain there. It won't affect anything. And after a period of time, that stain will all but disappear. So, you know, you don't want to get too excited about stuff. Let's see what this is going to look like here pretty quick. I still feel resistance on the scraper when I'm going through this part. But it's just slick when it's not on that. Okay. A little tough spot there. But you really have to kind of go over this more than once. So that's kind of tough right there. But I'll knock the top off of it, get most of it off at this point. You don't want to wear good clothes doing this. Tell you what. And you want eye protection. Because you don't want that crap in your eyes. Okay, but I don't like the way that feels right there. That's nasty right there. I don't like that at all. Okay, now the next step is a brass brush. And there's something about brass that reacts with this. And like cheap brushes from Harbor Freight, a lot of them are brass plated steel. So, you know, I think this is a Home Depot thing here, and it's real brass. It's real soft. But this brush here is a tempered brass industrial brush. I think this cost me 30 bucks. But it just lasts and lasts and lasts. You'll go through 2 dozen of these, and it'll look like that. It's still usable. Okay, let's start working this one. Oh, bumped that tripod. I hope it didn't knock that camera. Probably didn't. You probably saw my ugly face. Okay, here we go. Keep working it. Use the left arm. Work on those biceps. 1, 2, 3. Okay, keep going. Circular motion, figure 8 motion, back and forth, sideways. You want to go every direction. Let's see if it looks a little better here pretty quick. Work those spots real good. You go. What is that, Madge? Well, you're soaking in it. Okay. That goes back a ways, I guess. Okay, okay. Ah. Go, go, go. Little spot right there. You're not going to get all that stuff off. Oh, poopy boys. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Knock it off of there. You can kind of feel the places though. Just kind of work it. Work, 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 work. Okay. We'll call this good for the first round. At the end of the... And we'll take the worst rags I ever got at Home Depot, and they sort of work. So Now that's not too bad. No, it's not bad. A little better than it was. Well, a lot better than it was. But if you keep wiping this thing down with oil and using the machine, and it'll hardly be much noticeable. And you don't use the back part of the bed very much on these because everything has to be hanging out of the spindle on them, because this turret is moved back all the way, and you can't put a tailstock on here because the turret's in the way. So if you put a tailstock on here, the only thing you could turn is something 3/4 inch in diameter, I think. 3/4, yes. You can turn something up to 3/4 across this, but nobody ever does. Okay, let's see if we can do a real quick thing right here on the cast iron. Well, kind of avoid that plate there a little bit. I didn't run the scraper across this because I'm not sure if I needed to. Probably to get back into some of those places. Let's have a quick look at that. That's not half bad. I remember the last run that Hardinge did of these machines. I think it's the early 90s, maybe mid 90s. Give me a pupper. And they were over $60,000, I think almost 70. In the last run of these. Okay, I'll put more stuff on it and we'll fiddle around with this thing a little more as time goes on. I have to climb this ladder to turn off the camera. Okay, back.